Let's talk about our future. We're talking about the past 4 years, but let's look and see what an amazing change AI is going to bring to the picture, and how is medicine even going to be practiced 2-3 years from now.
You look very nice today.
Thanks.
What's going on? You're all pinky and happy and smiley and everything.
Well, it is Zup's birthday after all, or Zup's birthday month. We turned 4 on March the 20th.
That's hard to believe. That's really hard.
How did we even get here? I mean, little did we know when we were designing ZüpMed that we would make it this far. Yeah. And it's been a really, really amazing ride.
Do you ever think about how different that Zup is today than what we originally conceived it now 6 years ago, 6.5 years ago?
Yeah, I think we took a detour. We had to, because we opened the day before the mayor shut the city down for COVID. So we had to just take like this.
I timed that intentionally, by the way. I never told you that.
Oh, yeah. You did? You created
I was talking to the mayor, and I said, hey, when are you going to shut the city down? And he goes, Wednesday. And I said, well, we'll just open Tuesday just to go ahead and push me right over the cliff.
Yeah. Well, that was expert timing, because I think the COVID pandemic really pushed people to find alternative ways to obtain good healthcare advice. And it was the wild, wild west during COVID, because so many PCP offices had shut their doors down. They weren't letting patients come in. And here we were trying to establish a foothold for a high-touch level of care. And we were like, come on in. I think that changed the trajectory of Zup. It didn't change the personality, though. I think we were always trying to, or envisioning ourselves being that high-touch concierge medicine, or more personable type of medicine.
Personal and more personable. I think the other thing is, the one thing that did not change, and we have 3 times the number of employees that we originally planned on. We're out of space. I've been thrown out of my own office. And I'm not sure that wasn't planned, but But the one thing that has not changed is providing our patient guests what they want.
Oh, to a certain extent.
Well, yeah, to a certain extent. But let's talk about that, because when COVID started, when we were standing in that very empty parking lot and looking at each other and going, well, this was a good idea. What did we do? We asked ourselves, all right, what do people need? Right now, what do people need? And as it turned out, there was nobody in the private sector doing COVID testing. In the region. In the region, there was nobody doing COVID testing. And you remember, we got on the phone, you reached out to some colleagues, and we found a lab who said, yeah, we can do that. And within that same week, we were able to start offering COVID testing. And I think that approach to asking ourselves, what does the patient need, has served us well over the past 4 years, and hopefully served our patients well.
Yeah, I think looking back at these last 4 years, the dedication to patient safety, the dedication to thinking outside the box, what can and what can't we offer, hearing people saying, I can't get this anywhere else, can you help me, has laid the groundwork for what we do currently at ZüpMed. And I'm really proud. I think our initial intent, despite opening in a time frame of a global pandemic, has not changed. And that is to provide the care that people need, that they may not be able to get elsewhere, and that is dedicated to hearing the patient and individualizing and optimizing their health outcomes, whatever that looks like. Medicine, nutrients, genetics, all of the above.
Can I be honest with you for a second?
Sure.
I'm a big fan. Right. Of you.
Oh, well, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. I'll stay married to you for one more day.
Just one more day. But one of the most important things is what you said just now, and that is listening to the patient and trying to solve their problem. And in the traditional practice of medicine, in the traditional training for the practice of medicine. We are basically, I mean, if you can think about condensing it down, we're given this book. And in this book is, let's take it by body system, is everything from the tip top of your head down to the soles of your feet. And you look up kneecaps, and then you go to, say pain, or it might be redness or something, and goes, oh, redness of the kneecap, and this is what you have available. Done. And if the patient is concerned about the redness of the kneecap and what you have available might not go ahead and change that, sorry, that's what I've got. Hope you work this out. And you have never let that happen. Somebody comes in and says, I've got a problem with my kneecap. I've been to an orthopedic surgeon. I've been to a rheumatologist. But, it still hurts. And you have never stopped looking for solutions for those patients. And, I think people value that.
Well, I think that there's so much more that we can learn, and so much more that is not in a textbook that only gives you 80 diagnoses to start with. And I just think, let's talk about our future. We're talking about the past 4 years, but let's look and see what an amazing change AI is going to bring to the picture, and how is medicine even going to be practiced 2-3 years from now, much less 5-6 years from now. We're going to be in a totally different era, and we're going to utilize diagnostic systems that are very quick, much faster than the speed of a human brain. But what we'll lack from that is the human touch. And I'm still dedicated to offering a very individualized and personalized approach to care. Tell me do you have a favorite patient, or do you have a story that you're like, man, I can't believe that happened over the past 4 years?
All my patients are favorite.
That's a great answer.
It's true. It's true. Everybody has a story. And it's very difficult for me to pick one out of the other. I love our minor surgeries. I really still take great pride in repairing wounds, and seeing them a few months later, 6 months, a year down the road, and thinking that came out, really well. We had a dog bite the other night. A dog bite to the face of a young girl who intends to be a model and is probably going to make it. And there was a little pressure from that one to repair that. But I'd be hard pressed. How about you? And you have a favorite patient or best story?
I think I'm most proud of being able to offer a quality of life extender or a quality of life changer. By the time some patients have finally come to ZüpMed, they've seen other providers and they haven't been offered a solution to what they're dealing with. And because modern medicine doesn't reimburse a quality of life improvement intervention, essentially, unless if it's a surgery, they are so thankful that we have cutting edge testing. We have labs that are not offered at other clinics. We have potential individualized approaches through our genetic studies. And I think if I were to pick, it is taking someone's personal genetics and understanding how they may or may not respond to certain medicines, and keeping them safe from adverse events, or optimizing their medicines to help them feel better and have a better quality of life, or maybe even validating past experiences where no one else could explain why that medicine caused such side effects, but we were able to do that through our genetic studies.
But that's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about, is that, I promised you before we started today that I was not going to whine about the American healthcare system. All right?
But here it comes.
Just a little whine. All right? And that is that American doctors, the American healthcare system is reimbursed by procedure. If you do something, you get paid for it. If you do something, you get paid for it. But guess what? If you have nothing to do, you don't get paid. And so we in the American healthcare system are supported by this need to go ahead and do something. But yet, in so many cases, back to my original example of the medical textbook, if it's not in that list under kneecap, redness, fix, if it's not on that list and you don't have anything for it, you have to go somewhere else. And therein lies the complexity of our healthcare in that, oh, you've seen an orthopedic surgeon, I'm going to send you to a rheumatologist. Oh, the rheumatologist has nothing for you. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and send you to wherever. You're the one who taught me, said, let's look at the gut biome. Let's look at the microbiome in the gut and maybe look at not necessarily why that knee hurts, but why the patient is perceiving that knee pain differently than somebody else might. And is that a function of the gut microbiome? And I think you have to, if you're going to practice medicine in today's world, and you mentioned AI, looking forward, I don't think you can even begin to understand what this is going to look like 6 months from now, certainly not 3, 4, 5, 6 years from now. But I think if you begin to understand how medicine's going to change, it is that we're going to open the filters. And
I hope so. It's
we
time.
are, and we're going to start saying to patients, there's something going on here. I mean, nobody gets up in the morning and wants to be sick. Nobody gets up in the morning and wants to limp or suffer from a bad back. So there has to be some willingness on our part as providers to find answers for people. And it goes beyond that book of lists of things we can do. It goes beyond. And you've done it, and Zup has done it. And I'm proud of us for doing that.
I'm proud of us too. And I have lots of dreams for future service lines and programs that make sense, that people are in search of, that they can't find in other clinics right now. And I look forward to it. I'm very excited about our future. Happy about our past. Excited about our future.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Zup.
I know. It's fun.